I am Bill Ritchie, and I am a digital curator. I believe there are two kinds of digital curators. One who has nothing and needs to earn money doing the work of digital curating. The other kind of digital curator who has everything to curate but no money. This second one sounds like a poverty case, no money, but a huge collection of art, a gallery to keep it in, stored away, indexed, codified, videotaped, video recorded, but no money. In both cases, they have this in common: they need money. The first curator, it's not really a problem because there are jobs curating videos for museums, for industry, every kind of operation you can think of, even hospitals or credit unions, dog collecting societies. They all need some sort of curator, someone to take care of the assets that are digitized. Digital assets. There's a lot of money in digital assets. Money is a digital asset. But in the case of, in my field, arts, crafts, design, education, technology, it would be hard to find a museum that has all these things. Oh, there's the Smithsonian Museum, of course, the national galleries in the different countries and so forth, all have a department of digital curating. Works that are on videotape, for example, or works that are on CD-ROMs, digital files of various kinds that can be translated and used to attract visitors and grants, gifts, to keep their collection strong, to make their institution a go-to place, tourist attraction, even having some sort of bankable value. A museum could actually get a loan based on the value of a certain painting in their collection, I suppose. Also as a tax shelter for people who have more money than they know what to do with. They can donate money or donate tangible gifts such as a masterpiece artwork to this institution, and there awaits the curator. I'm not that kind of person at all. I have a little tiny 300 square foot art gallery museum on a Tony neighborhood in Seattle. It holds about, we estimate, a street value of $750,000 worth of artworks of all kinds of mediums and so forth. My accumulated creations since the year 1960 are here, codified, photographed, digitized, and so on. So we started, my family and I, with the help of my wife, my two daughters, particularly my younger daughter, Nellie, curating this work. It started, 5 or 6 years ago, and it's in good form. It's on screens in digital form. It's flip books. It's what they call an online museum. It's for some retail aspects on Etsy and other kind of sales platforms, none of which make any money at all. But on paper, it has value. The question in any marketer's or any business person's mind is, what is the market? Who is the market? What is the demographic of that market? Who will be attracted if you put a sign out that says art museum? Who goes to art museums? That kind of thing. Requires a lot of market and research value before sinking money into hiring a digital curator. Well, I don't have to hire a digital curator. I am he. I am the digital curator for the Ritchie Art Museum, whatever it's called. But my joy is not in making money. That's too bad in a way. But my joy is as an artist, a craftsman, a designer, a teacher, and a tinkerer in technology. My joy is to get an email from a student in India, 18-year-old student, this really happened today, who asked me to collaborate with him to learn more about digital curating. He's probably studying to earn a salary in one of those institutions I described. And there is a salary waiting for him. I was told today that curator is the highest station in any kind of institution, say an art museum. The curator is the chief, the pinnacle of achievement, the highest status in that staff. That's interesting. I didn't know that. In America, curators come in all shapes and sizes. They're not always the head curator. If they are head curator, they have that title. But anyway, so it's an interesting day today, June 13th, 2025. And the email from the man in India said that it would be invaluable to study with someone like me. And as a teacher, that's music to my ears, except that I won't get paid unless I put a price tag on it. And there begins the market research. What is the knowledge of a person like me worth? I used to work in the University of Washington, and I calculated that over the 19 years that I worked there, they had paid me $350,000 in salaries. Now, of course, with inflation and so forth, I don't know what that is today. But that's what my information was worth to them for those 19 years that I taught. As a market tool, my name, my artworks, my prizes, and so forth gave credibility to the art department, along with about 40 other people. But that's the way market research, that's what market research would conclude. The market value of a professor is so many dollars, based on attendance to classes, payments of tuitions, and on it goes. For an artwork in a museum, it has a market value not only for what it would sell for if put on auction and circulated to maybe to another art museum, but how many people will be attracted to come to that museum, pay admission at the door, or join for an annual membership. What is the calculation? The bigger the name, Rembrandt or something, then the more market value it has. Lesser artists' work, such as mine, I have, I think, one or two artworks in the Seattle Art Museum, and they have virtually no drawing power to that museum. Don't ask me why. It's just how it is. On the day that a person bought that artwork and gave it to the art museum, or no, in this case, he sat on the acquisitions committee, and they were deciding how to spend the money that had been given, and he raised his hand, and my work was purchased. That's how it goes. Business as usual. But in this case, I'm of the second type of curator, one who has nothing except an accumulation of 60 years artworks, books I've written, every kind of thing that can be curated, physical things can be curated and put into digital form. What is its market worth? And who cares? Who would want to know what the market worth value is? Well, now I'm wondering today, having received this email from a student in India who has already paid for certification as having taken ChatGPT and some other technology thing in an institution in India. He has already paid for that certification. So what would he pay me? If he has already paid for that and he thinks that working with me would be invaluable, as he put it, what would he pay me? Well, I'm not in a situation where I'm going to start, charging him to, by the hour or something like that. Thoughts cross my mind, co-develop, collaborate, and so forth. But hey, I have expenses too, and I am now in the process of figuring out how the digital curating of what I've done has value. In other words, it's either throw it all in the dumpster and be done with it, let my family free that I won't be burdened by this stuff, or find an alternative, a different way, a new way, something suitable for the 21st century. And that is called, what's it called? I have a name for it. And now and then I forget the very thing I invented. It's called recontextualization. Recontextualization. The context of artworks in the 20th and 21st century has a context. Art with a capital A, whatever, it's a masterpiece and so forth, or some trivial piece of decoration that you put in, and art is applied to just about everything. I saw a book called The Art of Truck Driving. Recontextualization means, okay, let's shift and move the meaning and the placement of what these things mean. What does this mean in the 20th century, 21st century? A 3D printed etching press made in Cologne on a Kickstarter startup, selling for about $150, produced in the thousands since 2018 when it was released in 7 years. The last Kickstarter campaign generated $250,000. The context of etching presses, in other words, has the beginnings, has that place of determining the market value. So artworks like these, I'm surrounded by, the context must be shifted. It must jump over the guardrails of the art world into another world where it has a totally different value. Not valued for how it looks, not valued by who has one, not valued as to its backstory and so forth, but a new context. And that's what I've been doing for the past, decade, I think it is, trying to figure out how do you shift the context. Well, first of all, there has to be a market, a draw, a magnet. Something has to cause it to jump over the guardrail into a new world. Well, that new world is an old world. It's education. And education is my thing. I am a teacher, first of all. So the context of education means, well, what kind? What kind of education is needed today? What kind of education has market value? And I decided that in America, it's popular to talk about giving very young children an entry to science, a knowledge of technology, skills in reading and writing, engineering skills, arts, and mathematics or music, numerology, STREAM, STREAM. That became the context. So shifting the meaning of art into STREAM means not so much putting it as the A in STREAM, but connecting this to all the others. And it can be done. A clever person can make a connection between these 3D printed fidgets into engineering or mathematics or whatever. Clever teachers can do this. That's one of their skills today. Not everybody can do that. So what I've done is I said, well, the value of these artworks is to finance a stream company over here outside the guardrails of art that can be put into terms of money, into terms of paying salaries for research, for development, for production, these kinds of things, to do good. And I've chosen as my product the so-called subscription box. In other words, it's a service where people sign up to receive by installments 5 boxes that teach how printmaking, how printing is the ancestor of all technologies, starting in the Paleolithic era, from the handprint on the wall to today's algorithm, recursive algorithm, that is. But that's another story, and it's time for my lunch. Thanks for watching. I'm Bill Ritchie.